Hello, everybody. Give my lovely camera a second to adjust. It takes a little bit. It's kind of special, but thank you for joining me. And today we are going to be talking about Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard's new MOBA, as you all know if you're here. Um, Brief introduction: I've been running tournaments and basically being involved in the esports scene for how many years now? 8, something like that. I started in 2006, doing a lot of different games, and eventually I settled on MOBAs, and now I'm here. So, without much further ado, let's jump right into this. I do know that it's going to be hard to interact with you guys because of the delay, but I'll try the best that I can. If you do say something that's really important, I'll try to get back to it as soon as I can. But again, I'm not going to be able to guarantee that I'll be able to do that. But whatever, let's move on. Overall, I want to say that whatever I'm about to say here is obviously my personal opinion. I don't have an access to the alpha right now, so I can't really say anything concrete. Everything that I've done is just it's just research. So I'm basing everything that I'm about to say off of research. I could be completely wrong, and I would love to be informed that I am, so that I can make educated decisions later on. And as you are seeing, I am a two-tone person. The beard is natural. It's red on top, or red on bottom, black on top. I don't know, man. Genetics, whatever. So, experience. Let's get into this. As you all know, the experience system in Heroes is completely different from pretty much any other MOBA that's out there right now. What am I? I don't need these. They're not doing anything. So the experience system in Heroes, the way that it works is as long as you're around something when it dies, you will grant your entire team the experience. So if you've played LoL, Dota, Han, what else is there? IC, Strife, Dawngate, Aeon of Strife, all that good stuff. Those all work on an individual basis, so whenever you get experience, it's yours. It doesn't get shared, and just by that alone, it kind of forces the teams to have this sort of dynamic that says, okay, we need 2 people in this lane, we need 1 here, maybe 2 up top, or we'll throw 1 up top and 1 in the jungle, so that everybody gets kind of an equal amount of experience, and they can go about their ways, and they'll be strong enough for team fights. So it's a really interesting dynamic to see that completely get flipped on its head, and that's one of the biggest parts of this game that I'm really, really looking forward to. And again, by the way, I have my cat here, who is going to be my lovely assistant and constantly meow throughout the whole thing, so sorry about that in advance. Now, the experiencing allows for a pretty broad variety of play, and if you watch the most recent dev recording, you'll see that Abathur never really enters lane except for objectives and doing all the special goodies. So what? Hi, shush, shush. So the thing that I really like about this game is that you can have characters outside of the lane still constantly impacting the rest of the game. And I will get to that zoning comment in a second. That's super important. So it's like, how do you design a game and balance it when certain characters can't be or don't have to be in a lane? And what this basically came down for me was, okay, if we have at least 1 person in every lane, what can we do to push? Like what can we do to make this game as strong as possible? And so what I came up with was a general basis where obviously you have to have 1 person in every lane. That's a thing, standard. And then from there you get kind of a big opening. You can have a support character as your typical duo. You can have you can have a specialist in the back like Abathur. You can have just a straight 1-2-2 setup where you just go absolutely ham and try to just crush everything. Or my personal favorite right now that I'm thinking of is you have 1-1-1 lane, so you have 1 person top, 1 person mid, 1 person on bottom, and then you have a duo that just runs around and messes up everything. And what that can be is at the start of the game, as most people see, there's not really a jungler role that we've seen so far. So what the 2 gankers could do is basically they roam around, they help zone the enemies from their experience, because again, zoning in MOBAs, it's such a big deal. because not only does it stop the person that you're laning against from having experience against you and able to, you know, level up their skills and everything, all that good stuff, get, in this case, get talents, it stops them from being able to really do anything. And in this game, if you are able to zone people, then it hurts the entire team. So zoning is definitely going to become way more important in Heroes than it has been in other MOBA. Midnight, what do you want? Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go let him out. Ay, ay, ay. You're so needy, cat. Go, 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 go. Alright. Anyways. Back to this. So. Where was I? Right, zoning. So zoning is super important because you can basically hurt an entire team if you're able to zone somebody out of a lane. And again, this is where, in my my head, having a duo ganker lane is going to be super important. So, as it stands right now, there's a couple of characters that have some really strong CCs, some really aggressive abilities that allow them to get in, do a lot of damage, and then kind of get out. And what I basically expect to see is those characters roaming and having a lot of a little bit of how Smite works. Those players roaming around, and not only will they be pushing and putting pressure on lanes, but hopefully what I want to see is that they'll be taking whatever weak camps they can at the same time. So, say they're running around and they see a mercenary camp that's kind of low. It's probably not something that you'd be able to do as a solo player, but what you can do is with a duo, you can kind of cheese it, leash it a little bit, all that good stuff, and basically help that lane get a little bit stronger, because you'll put those mercenaries into that lane so you can leave that alone for a little bit and then swing back around and help another one of your lanes that has a single person in it. So that's something that I really want to see. I don't necessarily know how much that's going to work right away, because it does seem like a lot of people are just kind of going the safe route and going the 1-2-2 setup. But I mean, that's kind of here and there because the game hasn't really developed that far. Sort of pseudo junglers. I guess that's a good thing. I'm thinking more of like the old school mobile gang squad, like way back when I played Dota in Rock and early Dota All Stars, like 1.0, 1.2. We had the general setup was it was either 2-2-1 or 1-1-1 with two people that just ran around and had crazy abilities, able to stop all kinds of stuff from happening. So I would like to see that get brought back, and I'll explain why I think that's actually going to be a thing coming later. So let's move on to the next little bit here. So in Heroes, as you again know, I'm kind of just preaching to the choir here. The game doesn't revolve around an item system, which for me is pretty crazy, because every MOBA that I've played, items, super important items. And so the fact that they're not here means that you basically speed up the game by a massive amount. There's no gold and there's no items. So what that allows people to do is they can focus fully on fighting. They can focus fully on not having to farm and just like going absolute tunnel vision and just focusing on whoever they're in the lane against. So again, what this will hopefully lead to is a lot of brawly lanes, a lot of really aggressive back and forths, and probably a lot of risk taking, which in my opinion is a good thing. So what we're gonna see hopefully is that because there's no items, the games will be a lot quicker, which I know that's the general goal that Blizzard's going for here in this game. They like to say that the games are within 15 to 20 minutes and they're over. I've seen pretty much that. I mean, the dev game was 16 minutes and 48 seconds, I think. Maybe a little bit longer, 17, something like that. And it was quick. It was really aggressive, really fast. And I mean, it was awesome. I want to see that kind of play. I'm so sick and tired of watching people farm for the first 10 minutes and maybe there's a first blood because a jungler comes down. Like, ooh, that's okay. So the way that this game is designed, I'm really big fan of, and I definitely want to see it get pushed as far as it can be. Hopefully my internet didn't just drop. Not good. Okay. Okay, it's still up. I don't know why maybe it's just lagging. Whatever. So where was I? Right, items. So it promotes, not having items promotes a faster gameplay because you don't have to go back to base and buy things. You don't have to farm and play super passive just so that you can get your one or two item build and then be like, okay, hey, yeah, I can fight. Let's go do stuff. Instead, what it says is like, all right, you know what? Just be around the things, kill the stuff, get the experience. Your whole team will level up, push on, and let's see what happens. So there's that. And then the opposite side of that, okay, are there cons to this? Is it a bad thing that you don't have items in this game? Are you not able to do certain things because you don't have items? And to that, I say no. I think this is certainly a good thing, but let's explore it a little bit. So if you don't have items, how do you deal with power creep? How do you balance the game in general? And obviously, the answer to this that Blizzard has given us has been the talent system. And I like the talent system. I think it's fantastic. What it does is it allows players to play through the game, and as they play, they can react instinctively to whatever the other team chooses. So, say your team levels up first, and you get whatever, you get your damage buff or your health buff, whatever you want. Then you can kind of get the feel of it. You're like, okay, they're level 2, they're hitting a little bit harder. Maybe I should, if I'm going to be the frontliner, instead of taking some kind of a damage buff or something like that, I'll go more the tanky route, and I'll think about it as I go through. And then later on, as the levels progress, like, okay, I need more of this rather than this. And instead of saying, well, I have to go farm gold for this, I'm just like, okay, I'll just wait until I hit my next level, and then I'll have the ability to do whatever I want anyways. And you can kind of push on from there, which is something that I think is really, really important for this type of game, because again, they're pushing this game to be really fast. And if you can't make those decisions on the fly, if you can't switch your stuff up from just immediately, and you had an old gold system, then pretty much whoever went in with the decision at the start, and if their strat started working right away, they'd probably have the better time going through and just sort of wrecking everybody. Let me double check, make sure everything is working. Okay. What else? So, yeah, I mean, there's that. Like, the difference between having an item build game and just a game that you basically choose what you want on the fly is it's nice. It's a nice thing, and I'm hoping that we get to see it get pushed a little bit farther than it is right now. Blizzard is doing a really good job about making the talent system be very fluid. You get it as you go through, and it's nice. So that's my general thoughts on that. Did I say anything else? Oh, I mean, from a competitive aspect too, it is really important to know that, like, when you look at item builds and all that stuff from kind of the back end, you see it and you're like, okay, let's make this strat. Let's base it around this. Let's do a timing push when X character gets Y item. Let's say, let's use League as an example. Say, let's make our push when Caitlyn gets her Infinity Edge, and then we'll just go absolutely like ham on something, or when somebody gets their Radiance in Dota, something like that. And in this game, it doesn't work that way. It's more of like, all right, we know everybody's going to be at this level soon. Let's see what we can do and how much we can push. And then basically it allows the teams to line things up a lot cleaner than anything else that I can think of, at least. Because instead of having to say, okay, well, I missed a couple of creeps, I don't have the gold for this. I can't, like, we're going to be behind, and then they're going to get their items, and what if we go back at the wrong time? What happens there? So it's like, all right, this is a totally different way to look at things. Before I jump to the next topic, I will address Trainwreck. Yeah, I'll address your comment. There are certainly going to be characters that have cookie cutter builds. That's not a question. That exists. That's a thing. It's going to be better for a hero to take this ability 9 times out of 10, maybe 100 times out of 101. Like, that's going to be a thing. It'll be there. But that just having that ability to have that one extra time where you can choose something else is really nice, and also it opens a totally different playstyle that you can have. And again, it allows you to have a reactionary playstyle. Instead of saying, oh hey, I already started buying items for this recipe, I would have to sell them all and then do a hard switch into something else, lose 75% of the gold that I've gained. You can say, okay, you know what, this